Hello and welcome to this sewing tutorial to make your bag Jeanne. You will find in your sewing kit the different pieces of the bag, the metal parts, the screw with a screwdriver and a small clamp, the thread with 2 needles and a small pair of scissors. To complete this kit you will need a lighter. We'll start with the small piece with the metal buckle. We pass the strap through the piece and then pass the buckle through it. We take a good length of thread and start sewing. For all the seams of this bag we are going to do a double needle technique. So we pass the thread in the needle, then we pick the needle, which creates a little loop that we will slip at the bottom of the needle. We then take most of the thread and pull it gently, which makes the knot go up towards the needle. The same goes for the other side. This shape of sewing will allow us to work with the 2 needles by alternating them. We're going to sew the first part of the piece. We pass the 2 needles through the first 2 holes. We pull on them to have the same length of thread on both sides. Then we continue the sewing by following the line of holes and alternating the needle. Once you have reached the end, move back 1 or 2 holes to secure the thread before tying a knot and cutting off the excess. Then we will sew the small strap to fix the metal piece on it. And then we sew the other part as before. Once the 3 seams have been made, burn the excess of thread. We get the small square piece through which we pass the metal fastener. This is placed on the main part of the bag and we sew them together. We continue with the 2 small pieces that we sew to the bag. We're going to sew the handle. Take the two pieces and the metal parts. We take 4 to 5 lengths of thread. We're going to put the loops around the piece. Be careful to pass on the right side, which means that the part where the metal is straight is above, and the second loop, which will welcome the shackle, is on the outside. The piece is folded over the other and we sew them together. When you get to the end of the handle, you add the other metal buckle and finish the other side of the seam. You can now sew the handle to the bag. We pass the piece through the right part of the buckle before folding it on itself and sewing it into the bag. The same is done for the other side. We will fix the bottom of the bag. We will glue the bottom before screwing the pads on it. We now move on to the side panels. We take 5 lengths of thread. We will put the piece directly on the bag on the front side with the metal fastener that we sewed earlier. We start sewing with a single needle in the first hole. We pull to have the same length of thread, then we pass the second needle through the first hole. The thread is therefore passes through the outside of the pieces. We continue the sewing by following the whole line and alternating the needle. You can use a small clamp to keep the pieces straight. We start to give the bag its rounded shape in the corner. Be careful not to pull too much on the thread and not to distort the seam line. Once the two side panels are sewn, pass the small pieces through the hole. Then we're going to sew the last lines of holes, the one in the front of the bag and the one on the flap. It's an aesthetic seam, just follow the lines of holes. All that remains is to attach the metal inserts. They are already fixed on themselves with screws. Remove them before applying them to the bag and reattaching them. To finish, we will pass the first piece that we have sewn on the handle before attaching the handle to the metal buckles. Et voilà, your bag Jeanne is finished! We hope you like it and it will follow you in all your outings.